if you're having any issues or you feel that you can't do something based on a limiting belief or a past experience that you had from when you tried something and it didn't work out, Spirit is telling me to remind you that failure is part of life. And if you're scared to fail, you're scared to live, truly. A lot of us are scared to live in the present day to day because it's hard. It's really, really hard. And as you increase your awareness and make yourself known to these different issues, it's tough, especially as an empath, when you can feel the energy of the world shifting and you feel so much pain and suffering, and you realize 99% of it is self-inflicted. Self-inflicted in the sense that we create this reality in our head. We really do. And in this reality, everything has to be perfect and everything has to fall in line at just the right minute when we want it to. And that's a very dangerous line of thinking because it can lend you to the mindset of believing that you are better or that your struggle is worse than someone else's. That your experience is the singular anomaly in the universe, the entire universe, that of which you can't comprehend using human or logic based on the 3D. Because what I'm seeing is essentially it feels like we are living out a delayed response to what our soul is actually doing, because our soul has the ability to travel throughout space and time. And so our soul will travel to these different places, these different worlds, and take different forms, assume command of different vessels, different ships. And each of these is governed by wills in some sense, or moves by wills, willpower. And when I say willpower, I'm referring to chakras. Your willpower, your stars, help you navigate a dimension. So when you don't have a foundation, which I didn't have a foundation about a year ago before I was activated. And once I was activated, there was like no unseeing what I saw. There was no putting how I felt back into the suppressed jar that I had been holding on to and carrying with me for my entire life. There was no mercy, in a sense. I was shown the full, ugly, bitter version of myself that derived from conditional love, environments. But it's really starting to make sense to me why I manifested into this avatar, into this life, into these experiences, because this is something so profound for me, because I'm finally get to see what I've been working on lifetimes to accomplish. and that is breaking generational curses. Many people, in fact, most of my family, was taught and passed down through previous generations. However, the problem with this is that when things get passed down, if you just take something at face value, but don't understand the meaning behind it, why you're doing it, or even if it resonates with you, this can be a problem. Because you have to understand that you are not your thoughts. You are not your body. You are not your mind. You are none of these things. In fact, this entire identity that you create for yourself, your ego, is nothing more than a string of beliefs put together as a last ditch effort of having some form to protect yourself. But think about what you're protecting yourself from. Now, there is a lot of bad in this world, but what are you really guarding yourself from on a day-to-day basis, to where you won't even interact with people? You won't smile at people. You're so consumed in your own reality that you won't even look up and pick up a piece of trash off the ground on this earth that's held you down your entire life. So you don't even give thanks to the sun for rising. You don't give thanks to the stars. All these things that make this experience beautiful before our eyes, sunsets, sunrises, perfectly timed. Mysteries of the universe that we could never begin to understand. However, through gratitude, through prayer, meditation, through quieting your mind, you can begin to open up and see the beauty of nature, of life. Every second is a blessing, because there's some spirit, entity, whatever, that are dying literally to get here. And they will latch on to low vibrational things, addictions, people, places, things, and they will try to lure you with that good old complacency, that nice, soft, warm complacency. And the problem with this is that you may fall for it. You may even trick yourself into believing that it's something different. But dissolving one's ego is a painful process. And I can't even go into the depths of the sacrifices one has to make in order to climb the ladder of consciousness and to gain a sense of belonging to something larger than yourself. For me personally, I felt my entire life I had nowhere to shine. I joined the Navy. I was the best I could be at my job, did my thing. Shit didn't work out. Wasn't for me. Wasn't my group. My light was dimmed by my rank. You can't do this. You're this rank. Stay within your own lane. That's what they told me. See, childhood, growing up, I felt like I was always having to compete for love. Growing up in a single family household, split household, no father figure, no respect for authority. All these things, see, were in my environment. And the reason I say I know why I manifested as his avatar is because genes are how karma keeps track of us, essentially. I believe that karma gets attached to our genes, and that when we manifest, or when we die, based on the set of beliefs we had at that certain time, will dictate whether we reincarnate into a family, or a family that may have a certain type of genetic predisposition to certain types of diseases, certain types of ailments. All this is strategic. If you seriously think that you just woke up or just were created out of a mixture of your mother's and father's genes, I think that you're mistaken, because I think it's much deeper than that. And I think that at the deepest level, life is about expressing your individualism to the fullest, to the point to where no one or nothing can dim your light, to where you don't allow anything to dim your light, because you don't get lost in the light. You recognize that this is all just light. Life is an illusion. This is an illusion. But it's a beautiful illusion. And it can be wonderful so long as you give it the chance to be wonderful. But when you stop and look for something wrong in any situation, you're doing yourself disjustice. You have to actively try and find the good in any situation, because life is happening for you. Whether you have the perception and ability to see that or not is entirely up to you. But everything in your life is happening for a reason. And as I'm about to start this next chapter, show instead of telling, folks ain't ready. Because I'm coming heavy. I'm coming heavy with the love and understanding. And I ain't tolerating no fuck shit. I'm about action. I want to see change in this world. We don't live. We live in a beautiful world with ugly people. People that act absolutely terrible. And the reason they act like this is because they don't know where they come from. They think that they're just black. They think that they're just Democrats. They think that they're just a woman. Like, this shit goes so much deeper than that. And when you begin to understand that you are nothing and everything, nothing and everything, all at once, all encompassing, this is you. You may not want to recognize, or it may not be time to understand these things. But if you're watching this, obviously Spirit guided this information to you. And so how you apply it is entirely up to you. But I will tell you, as the unofficial leader of the nobodies, the forgotten, we won't be silenced no more. We won't be silenced no more. And my family, my soul family, we about to shake this world up.